Hey everyone, King Kong 9100 here. Let's talk Godzilla vs. Kong. So I've been seeing a lot of people really down Kong, going how the hell will he fight Godzilla in 2020? And for good reason. I mean, Godzilla in King of the Monsters was a damn beast. So I just wanted to make a video to try and clear up how I think Kong will fight Godzilla in 2020 and how he'll be able to match Godzilla. Let's get right into it. So how will Kong be able to match Godzilla? Let's first go over how he can physically match Godzilla, both strength-wise and in terms of his actual size and weight stats. We last saw Kong in 1973 on Skull Island. He weighed 158 tons and was 104 feet tall. Now that's really light for a kaiju, but we later see him in 1995 in the comic series Skull Island: The Birth of Kong, where he doubled in height. And we know this because we can compare the final headshot of the comic to the headshot from the film. Here's a picture by Awesomeness360 showing off the growth spurt that he had, and he pretty much doubled in height. So Kong in 1995 stands roughly around 200 feet tall. He is stated to still be growing, so if from 1973 to 1995, 22 years, he grew 100 feet, and he's still growing, then it makes sense that in the next 25 years he will grow another 100 feet. This means that in 2020 he'll be around 320 to 340 feet tall, which is perfect to match Godzilla. And this theory is supported by the cave paintings at the end of King of the Monsters, showing that Kong is literally Godzilla sized. So that takes care of the size problem, but what about the weight? For the weight, we need to talk about Rodan's stats. Yes, Rodan. Rodan in King of the Monsters was 104 feet tall and weighed 39,043 tons. And since Kong will be Godzilla sized in 2020, that means we can take Rodan's weight and multiply it by 2. And at 308 feet tall, Rodan would weigh around 78,086 tons. And comparing it to Kong, who has far more muscle mass and just mass in general, he'd weigh anywhere from 70,000 to 80,000 tons. And I doubt that they'd make Kong 70,000 tons, so I feel it's at least pretty likely that he'd weigh around at least 60,000 tons. Basically, if a 154 foot tall Rodan is 40,000 tons, Kong would definitely be double that when he's an adult. So Kong is okay when it comes to size and weight, but what about strength? Apes are notorious for being able to lift their own body weight over 6 to 8 times. And since Kong is an ape on steroids, he would logically be able to do the same. So if Kong is at around 75,000 tons, he'd be able to thrash Godzilla around no big deal. I'd argue he'd be able to swing King Ghidorah around no problem, considering King Ghidorah is around 141,056 tons. That is, if Kong isn't weakened by oxygen deprivation. I mean, even after being so weakened, Kong was able to lift this boulder over his head and jump with it. And it was calculated to be nearly 815 tons, as seen here. That's nearly 6 times Kong's own weight, keeping in mind the fact that Kong was A, weakened by oxygen deprivation, and B, a mere baby. So Kong, fully grown, has only gotten far more stronger. We've went over how Kong will be able to match Godzilla in size, weight, and strength. This leaves us with one question. How will Kong be durable enough for proper battle? I mean, we've seen Kong get cut by helicopter blades and get burnt, right? Well, here's my argument. Kong in 1973 was literally a child, hence him getting cut by the blades. In terms of high temperatures, the napalm didn't even get past Kong's skin. It merely singed his fur. So Kong is absolutely fireproof. He passed out due to oxygen deprivation from the napalm, something Godzilla's atomic breath does not do. To further solidify the idea that Kong is impervious to high temperatures like in the original King Kong vs. Godzilla, when Kong is fighting the Mire Squid, his foot gets totally covered in ink. What you don't know is that in Skull Island: The Birth of Kong comics, that ink is stated to be so hot it literally boils the water around it and the prey itself. All while cutting the prey with blade-like jaws. It swirls and cuts like a fan blade, and Kong didn't even feel it. So yeah guys, by 2020 I'm pretty sure he'll be durable enough for proper battle. But what about the atomic breath? I guarantee you guys that Kong will not be one-shotted, or even 3-shotted, or even 4-shotted for that matter. Not only would the movie be horrible for that if he did get one-shotted, But at that size, Kong would have such a thick skin, it wouldn't even make sense that he get one-shotted. Plus, after the first hit or two, Godzilla's atomic breath is virtually worthless. This is because Kong would be able to hear it and see it, and Godzilla's tells of when it's about to be fired are very, very noticeable. And Kong is so fast, he'd just be dodging it like nothing. Not to mention the fact that Godzilla takes a while to charge it up, 1. 2, Godzilla had to be firing it at the female Muto for a long time before she went down, meaning it's more of a pushback force rather than actual burning heat. It still burns, but it's not going to be hot enough to one-shot Kong. It is a versus movie, guys. Remember, the male Muto wasn't nearly as durable as Godzilla, yet he still pierced Godzilla's hide. And Godzilla hasn't once shown that his hide is nearly impenetrable, so let's take it easy, guys. It's also worth mentioning that King Ghidorah, who's way, way bigger and weighs way more, easily dodged that beam. So yeah, I think that covers the basic reasons people always say Godzilla will trump Kong in 2020, so I just wanted to clear the air. Hence, Kong will be Godzilla's near size by 2020, he'll weigh less but will still be strong enough to swing and flip Godzilla, as his punches will most definitely hurt with those giant ass hands, and not to mention just how incredibly fast Kong will be. You see how King Ghidorah dodges the atomic breath? Kong would be able to dodge it far quicker than that. In fact, Ghidorah was just standing there waiting for it. I don't think Kong would just be standing there. Anyways, I'm so excited for this battle. And what people are saying about Kong being too weak or too small to fight Godzilla does not make sense. Going by that logic, we wouldn't say that adult Godzilla is weak or small because little Godzilla is, now would we? My main point is, the two are going to fight in 2020, so we can't expect no one being one-shotted, and definitely Kong would be able to properly fight Godzilla. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe for more. This is King Kong 19100 signing out. See ya.